Hello, my beautiful feather tribe, and welcome back to Unbound Soul Tarot. My name is Helen, and I am back with another reading. So this time we are checking in with your spiritual team, and we are seeing what sort of urgent message do they have for you at this time. What is the topic that they wish to highlight or address in this reading that is for one reason or another the most significant for you at this time. And then we're going to get some more information about the situation that your spirit guides have decided to highlight, and we'll sort of dive a little bit more deeper into the issue that comes out of your reading. So without further ado, let's get into the piles that you get to choose from. We have 3 piles today, and this time you get to choose a card that is representing the pile and also a little crystal to go alongside it. So for pile number 1, we have this Fulfilment card. And also to accompany it, we have this Peach Moonstone. Don't know how well you'll be able to see it. I think it's just a tiny bit too small, so it's not probably focusing too well. Anyway, so the Peach Moonstone. For pile number 2, we have this Purification card. There we go. And we have a selenite crystal to accompany it. So, and finally we have for pile number 3, this Opportunity card. And this Lapis Lazuli to accompany it. So there you go. Those are your 3 piles, and take as long as you need. Usually I always recommend this, especially if you are new to tarot readings or if you are new to my channel. I always recommend taking the time to really feel just like which one pile talks to you the most. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, then of course go ahead and watch that one too. There may be some messages there for you, but generally speaking, you should be able to sort of, discern fairly early on in the reading whether the situation that is coming through in the reading is actually talking about your life circumstances or not. And if you can't really apply it to any situation or nothing like jumps out at you from the get-go, then most likely it's not your reading, and it's just, better to stick to the one that resonates to you the most, or resonates with you. And of course, as always, please, take these messages with a grain of salt, and always use your discernment as well, because this is a general reading, so not all of the messages are going to apply to you. And if you find that none of the messages apply to you, that's fine as well. It just could be that the messages coming through this reading are intended for someone else who needs them more at this time. And just to to give you a final heads up, if I am, clearing my throat or if my voice goes a bit wonky, it's because I am still somewhat recovering from a cold, and it's, it's been a hassle. So hopefully, you'll be able to ignore it, not pay too much attention to it. But yeah, I'm going to leave you here to choose. And as always, whenever you are ready, you can go into the description box or the comment section down below and click on the timestamp that you need. So yeah, I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. You chose the Peach Moonstone, and of course it was just the perfect stone to accompany this fulfillment card, which also has a peach and a moon, not a moonstone, but a moon on it. And yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like necessarily intended that way when I was picking out which crystal to pair with this card, which one I felt intuitively drawn to. But that one just jumped out at me, and then I remembered what it was called. So yeah, it's just one of those things, you know. But let's jump into the reading and see what your spiritual guides want you to know at this time. What is the most urgent message for you? We're just going to keep this card here on the side and jump into the oracle cards that we have over here, which I have already shuffled and you know, prepared for your reading beforehand. So hopefully this section will give you a very sort of clear inkling or understanding whether this is your reading or not. If whatever message is coming through these cards is going to you know, resonate with you, or if it speaks to you in some way and you can recognize it in your own life, then most likely this message is intended for you. So yeah, let's just jump straight in and see what your spirit guides want to discuss at this time. Sorry, itchy nose. So the first card out is Flexible with number 19, and this card came out in reverse. The second card out is Full Moon in Leo. Don't let pride get in your way. We then have Burden with the number 43, which reduces down to 7 if you add 4 plus 3. Can you please focus? These are super shiny cards. Focus, focus. Come on. Nope. Nope. Anyway, there are some birch trees on there. Pretty sure it's birch. Yeah. Anyway. Moving on. We also have number 32, which reduces down to 5 with Vesta and Hearth, or Hearth, however you want to pronounce it. There you go. And finally, we have Time to Go with number 45, which reduces down to 9. And I don't think I mentioned, but the first card that we got, which was this Flexible card, which was number 19, that reduces down to 10, which further down, you know, further reduces down to 1. So it's that cyclical energy from 10 to 1, from the ending to the new beginning. But anyway, let's look at these cards. Okay, so a couple of things that are sort of jumping out at me straight away. First off, these two cards here. We have this Flexible card, which came out in reverse, which is clearly indicating that you or the situation that you are in is not the most flexible at this time. And I find it interesting that next to that we have this Full Moon in Leo card, which if you are at all familiar with the zodiacal archetypes, Leo is one of the fixed signs. And as one of the fixed signs, they are very much known, or all fixed signs are very much known for being somewhat stuck in or set in their ways and somewhat stubborn and, you know, a bit hot-headed, or, you know, just very much standing in their truth and what they believe in. And it is not an easy task to persuade them to see things in a different way when they have their mind set on something. And so I kind of see a bit of an underlying theme here, pile number one. And this theme is speaking of holding on to things that are heavy, that are slowing you down, that are weighing you down, and that you have maybe already experienced in the past. It's something that has, you know, it's long gone, or it's something that hasn't, you know, stayed with you in terms of circumstances. I feel like you are free of whatever this thing is. Most likely it's an emotional thing. And I'm saying that also because we have this fulfillment card, right? And we have this moon on here, which is a very, you know, evident symbol, a very significant symbol on this card. It just doesn't want to focus for some reason. So the moon is definitely highlighted on this card, with this peach, of course, as well. But with this moon energy, I feel like the main focus of this reading is talking about an emotional issue for you, or it has a very deep emotional significance for you. And I feel like with this fulfillment card as well, it seems to be a link between your sense of fulfillment, your sense of joy, and feeling good about your life, and feeling able to enjoy life in, you know, its most meaningful, most deeply exhilarating way. I feel like there is a block in there due to whatever this burden is that is still with you, or that hasn't necessarily been resolved completely. Okay, this card just doesn't want to focus at all. It's almost like, you know what this is kind of giving me the feeling of? It's giving me this feeling of whatever this thing is, whatever this burden is specifically, it's something that you just don't want to look at. I don't know why. I mean, you know, sometimes you can see like signs and symbols in the most peculiar things or situations, and that's what I kind of feel like is happening with this, you know, zooming thing, or why it's not focusing. It's like it's there with you, or you know what, I kind of get it like a different message. For some of you, it's that you don't want to see it, and for others of you, it's that you can't see it, or it's like you are blind to whatever this burden is that is still very much present. And that is sort of, you know, keeping you fixated on a certain way of seeing things, and in a certain way of doing things. This is just very much this Leo fixed energy. And even though it says don't let pride get in your way, I don't actually feel pride as much. I just feel like having this very concrete way of perceiving things. And it more so talks to me about like beliefs and what you, what sort of mindset you are operating from. And I kind of get this sense that it may be sort of coming from, or you may be operating from a place of like old programming or something that, again, as I said, it's not necessarily, you know, your current circumstances anymore. It's something that you have already lived through and experienced, and possibly even like grieved or, you know, worked on letting go. But for some reason, it's still showing up as something that is very much influencing your life, your decisions, your actions, your words, your thoughts at this time. I mean, we have this Vesta card here, which has the message hearth or hearth on it. And this just kind of gives me a very straightforward message of, you know, keeping something alive, or it's almost like, you know, the expression burning, or what is it? Holding a torch for someone, or burning a torch for someone? No. Carrying a torch for someone, I think that's the expression. And that's kind of the energy that I'm getting with this card here. That, you know, whatever this emotional issue, link, attachment, whatever this thing is something that you are still sort of keeping alive, or you are, you know, on some level, you still believe that to be true, and you're operating from that place. And with this time to go card, I mean, this is a very straightforward message, right? This is just like, this is Spirit saying, you know, it's time. It's time to let go. It's time to move on. It's time to, you know, set forth towards a new journey, towards a new mindset. New beginnings are definitely waiting for you. I very much feel that. I feel like something new is desperately wanting to come in. Now, whether it's a new, you know, relationship, a new opportunity of some kind, a new way of living or being, a new lifestyle, a new routine, whatever this is, I feel like it wants to come in, but it really can't, because there is, you know, there's no space for it to come in. Or again, it's like you are looking past it, or you are missing that opportunity because of whatever this burden thing is that is smack dab in the middle of this reading. And also just to sort of throw it out there, because I am getting an additional message here too. It's still sort of tied to your emotional fulfillment and you know, feeling good about yourself and being able to enjoy life. But it's a somewhat different message. And it's talking about, you know, you sort of taking on a lot of responsibilities alone, you know, putting on this very brave face that you can manage everything on your own and you don't need any help, you don't need any support, constantly sort of, you know, having this brave front, you know, displaying this warrior energy. And so people may look at you and feel like that's true, that you don't need any support or any help from them, when I feel like in truth, you are sort of taking on too much in holding something together, or, you know, keeping something working effectively the way that it should with this, especially with this Vesta card. This is very much like a homey energy as well to me. And, you know, I just feel like, especially as it, you know, as it's next to the burden card, it's something that is actually very, very much taking it out of you, you know. It's draining you of your energy. It's draining you of your life force, because I feel like you are sort of just, you know, doing too much, when in truth you should maybe delegate some responsibilities to someone else, or just ask for help, or maybe even just like let some of these obligations or responsibilities go completely. Maybe not all of those things that you are worrying about and, you know, trying to manage, maybe not all of those things need to be managed, and maybe not all of those things are worth the effort that you're putting into them. So, okay, now this doesn't want to focus. Anyway, yeah, so that's the secondary message that I'm getting here. So for some of you, it's about old emotional baggage, and for others of you, it's, you know, doing too much, possibly for other people as well, or, you know, carrying a lot of responsibility on your shoulders alone, and, you know, draining yourself and spending too much time and energy so that you are not you don't have any reserves left for the things that, you know, would actually bring you fulfillment and the sense of joy. But now that we have looked at the main theme that your spirit guides wanted to highlight for this reading, let's look at what sort of details we can get from the tarot cards. So I'm going to be shuffling on camera, and we're going to get 3 distinct sort of sections or portions to first of all see what is your biggest challenge that needs to be overcome regarding this situation. What are your surrounding energies? So we'll be able to see whether your surrounding energies are actually helpful to you, or whether they actually, you know, detrimental to you, or whether they are hindering you in some way. And finally, we're going to see where the situation is headed as it is right now. So remember, if you heed the advice on, you know, tackling whatever this challenge is that is going to come through from these cards, you can change the outcome of where the situation is headed, because every action has a reaction, and so that's how you sort of change energy. But let's see, first and foremost, what is the challenge that needs to be overcome regarding this highlighted issue. The first card out is the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Let me just get these up here a bit so we'd have more room. Okay, so the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Underneath the deck we have the Moon again, so clearly the Moon is a very, very significant symbol or message. And I also want you to pay attention to your dreams at this time as well, because whenever heavy moon energy comes out, it can indicate the importance of dreams and the messages that come through from your subconscious at this time. Okay, let's see if we can get a few more cards for this challenge that needs to be overcome regarding this situation. Can we get a few more cards? Thank you. Okay, yeah, we have the 8 of Pentacles coming out reversed and the 7 of Cups. I'm going to show you all the cards afterwards as well. And the the Knight of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck here. There we go. So yeah, a lot of Pentacles energy. So clearly this is something to do with your, you know, daily routine, something to do with where you are expending energy, and it's just very much to do with physical, material life, mundane life. Okay, let's see about the surrounding energies. What are the surrounding energies like for pile number 1? What are the surrounding energies like? Okay, we have the 10 of Wands reversed. Okay, this wanted to come out. The Knight of Cups. Can we get one more for the surrounding energies? Can we get one more for the surrounding energies? For pile number 1. Oh, thank you. That one flew out. The Magician. Okay. And the King of Swords is at the bottom of the deck. There we go. Okay. And finally, let's see where this situation is headed, just the way that it is at this time. You know, if you were to change nothing and just keep going the way that you are going, where is this situation headed? Okay, we have the Page of Wands. And we get a few more cards. Okay, we got 3. We have the 2 of Wands. We have the 8 of Swords reversed and the Ace of Cups reversed. Okay. And the Knight of Pentacles is still at the bottom here. So this is the underlying energy. And it's also funny because the Knight of Pentacles is very much like a workhorse type of energy. Even though on this card, he's not moving, he's very much still. but he is the most hardworking of all of the knights. And all of the knights, you know, represent movement and action being taken. So the Knight of Pentacles being the most rational, the most practical, the most reliable and loyal and determined to see their, you know, dreams or visions or goals come to life and actually materialize. It shows to me that you are, you know, someone who is very serious and very dedicated and is definitely not afraid of hard work. But it also doesn't seem to leave too much room for, as I said, emotional pursuits or pastimes. But let's dive into these tarot cards and get some more information from them. So pile number one, let's get started with these three cards first, which are talking about the challenge that needs to be overcome regarding the situation. We have the Queen of Pentacles that came out as the first card. This came out reversed. We also have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. And finally, we had the Seven of Cups. So, the main thing that I'm feeling here is that there seems to be not the best use of energy reserves or resources at this time, especially with the Queen of Pentacles coming here. I feel a very strong connection between this Queen reversed and this Knight of Pentacles that is on the bottom of the deck, which as I already mentioned, I feel like is talking about you and you being super, you know, diligent and working hard and you know, worrying about all the practical and mundane and responsible things in life. And with the Queen of Pentacles coming here or coming out in reverse, I just feel like this is highlighting this sense of like, you know, not taking care of important things and sort of, you know, squandering or wasting energy, especially with the Eight of Coins here too, coming out in reverse. This is putting in way too much effort for very little reward in return. And I'm not saying that, you know, what you are doing and all of the things that you are working towards and everything that you are keeping afloat, and I'm not, you know, trying to say that those things are pointless or that, you know, you are sort of wasting your time or something, but I just feel like this is trying to highlight this pattern or this routine that you are in, because very often the Eight of Coins also talks about routine, you know, doing the same thing every day basically, or just keeping, you know, keeping the pattern alive, repeating the same routine. I feel like it's just not actually working for you in the best way, or there is a much more efficient way, and it sort of requires for you to address and look at some of these things that are driving you at this time. What are the things that are motivating you to do these things? Where are these motivations coming from? Because whenever the Seven of Cups comes in or comes out in a layout, it indicates that there is the need to clarify something, that there is a bit of like haziness around current commitments and current things that you are doing that maybe haven't actually been thought through, you know, and that there may be something, or there is this need to figure out whether what you have right now and the way that you are living your life right now, whether that is the best way to live your life and whether that is actually truly fulfilling for you, or whether, you know, you would benefit from changing some things around, or adopting a new routine or a new regime, or trying something different out that would bring you additional fulfillment that wasn't there before, you know, that possibly there is something more out there that would give you a new level of fulfillment. And so I feel like that's the biggest challenge here, is for you to break out of this routine that you are in right now with this 8 of coins, right? Which I understand is not easy to do, because the 8 of coins is a card of responsibility and needing to, you know, consider a lot of things. It's not just an energy, with the Queen of Pentacles as well. It's not just an energy of, you know, looking after your own needs and looking after your own tasks and obligations and all of those things that, you know, that need tending to, like, you know, an income and paying bills and taking care of, you know, food and clothes and all of those, like, essential things. I understand that it's sort of difficult if you are very much focused on that area of life, or when you feel like you need to keep yourself busy and you need to keep performing. But I do feel like, you know, your spirit guides are highlighting this issue for a reason, and it seems like there is a bit of an imbalance in your life at this time. Now, looking at the surrounding energies, what is interesting to me, first of all, we have this 10 of Wands coming out reversed. We have the Knight of Cups. There we go. And the Magician. Now, the Magician is the only major arcana card that you've got, and the Magician is tied to the planet Mercury. And Mercury is the ruling planet of the signs Gemini and Virgo. And interestingly enough, the Knight of Pentacles is a card of Virgo, and the 8 of Pentacles is a card of Virgo. So there is quite heavy Virgo energy here. But with this Queen of Pentacles, which is often talking about or is associated with Capricorn, there is just a lot of earth energy here. So what I feel regarding your surrounding energies, though, is that I see that there is someone around you with this Knight of Cups. There is someone around you who is very much wanting to help you, who is wanting to offer their support, who is wanting to, you know, help you alleviate some of this burden. It's actually funny that we got the 10 of Wands here because of this burden card that we got. Ooh, it's finally in focus. That's great. So yeah, this 10 of Wands is very much like on the nose, but yeah, it seems like, you know, this Knight of Cups. This Knight of Cups is wanting to offer you help or support, and you can see as well the way that, you know, this Knight of Cups is approaching the Magician, you know, with the intention or with the offer to help make their life easier. But with the Magician here, again, I feel like this is talking about you, even though we are looking at surrounding energies. I feel like this Magician is you, again, you know, portraying this energy of, I can do it all by myself, I am super powerful, I am super competent, which you are, don't get me wrong. But I also feel like this is almost, you know, these cards are almost indicative of like you not even being aware or not really paying too much attention to this Knight of Cups, because you are just so focused, you are looking straight on, you are so focused on your own thing, you are so focused on fulfilling your responsibilities and doing all of the things that you feel that you need to do or that you have to do in order to, you know, achieve something, which only you know exactly what it is that you are doing all of this for, right? Because I'm sure that there are different motivations, but yeah, it seems like you're not very much aware or not really paying attention to the help that is trying to come in. Now, this Knight of Cups could also be talking about someone who, because it is a Knight of Cups, and I mean, the Knight of Cups is coming to you with an emotional offer of some kind. So it could just be a friend, or it could be a family member, someone who is just, you know, wanting to help you out of the goodness of their heart, or because they care about you. But the Knight of Cups is also considered to be the most romantic of the cups. So looking at all of this energy here, and especially the fulfillment theme that we have going on in this reading, it could be that one of the areas that you are neglecting as you are focusing on, you know, keeping yourself busy and working and da-da-da-da-da, it could be that you are not paying too much attention to your romantic life or to your, you know, relationships. Now, if you are not interested in that at all, you can just sort of disregard this message. But I do feel like I need to point out that this Knight of Cups could be a romantic suitor who is interested in you. But again, I feel like with this Magician energy, it's almost like you are giving off this energy of, you know, I don't need you, or I don't have time for you, or something like that, you know, because the Magician is very self-sufficient. And what I feel interesting as well is that, you know, the Magician has all of the elements on the table here. They are working with all of the elements. So the pentacles, the swords, the wands, and the cups, right? And obviously the cup on the table here is like the biggest that is sort of, you know, standing out, at least to me. It's the most evident on this card. So I almost even get the sense, now this could be just for some of you, not for all of you, but I almost get the sense that some of you could be manifesting or working towards sort of a stable future or something, so that you could have something material or financial to offer to a potential partner. And so it's like you are closed off for relationship at this time because that is your sole focus. So it's almost like this bizarre way of like wanting to manifest love or wanting to manifest a relationship. But it's like you are so focused on the other aspects of it that you are almost like turning a blind eye to it, or you are not paying attention to this opportunity that is right here for you with this Knight of Cups. And if it's not here right now, it is coming in. Okay. So for some of you, this Knight of Cups is someone you already know. And for others of you, this is someone who is sort of going to, you know, come into your life. And I feel like the intentions here are really, really good and very sincere, you know, truly wanting to help lighten your load and make your life easier rather than make your life more difficult. But it's like you're not really seeing it, or you're not really paying attention to it. And I also feel like, oh, okay, interesting. So this is, again, this is just a sort of story that just popped into my head, and it might not apply to all of you. But with this Magician energy, and like if we keep this romantic angle here, it could be that one of the main theme that is coming in, or this burden that, you know, your spirit guides are talking about, is actually a sort of like emotional scar tissue from previous relationships, or just simply from, like, again, old programming, old conditioning, maybe even from your childhood, where you feel like you have to have something material to offer to your partner in order to be valuable, or in order to feel like you are worthy of a relationship, like you have something of value to bring to the relationship. And so this might be this like burden that is also affecting again your actions and your decisions and the way that you perceive life at this time, that you have to sort of do everything by yourself, because the way that you are right now, without all of this like material and financial security or whatever other like obligations and problems that you are solving and dealing with, without that, you are not worth of love, or you are not worth of affection and respect and all of those things that you are deeply, deeply craving. So this could be that old programming that your spirit guides are actually talking about, which is keeping you from emotional fulfillment, right? From actually allowing this emotional nourishment to come into your life, which you are depriving yourself of at this time. But anyway, so that's the surrounding energies. So hopefully that part made sense. But let's now turn our eyes to this final section of cards, which, you know, we got 4. So the first card out was the Page of Wands. Then we have the 2 of Wands. And we have the 8 of Swords. And we have the Ace of Cups, also in reverse. Now, as I said earlier, this section is talking about the outcome or where the situation is headed. Now, with the Page of Wands and the 2 of Wands here, this is telling me that this desire to like bring something new, bring something refreshing into your life is going to become bigger. It's going to become louder. This voice inside of you that is urging you to try something different, to start a new hobby, or to, you know, travel somewhere, you know, start something new, you know, whatever it is. But because both of those cards are Wands cards, these are talking of enthusiasm and passion. Especially with the Page of Wands, this is talking about a new endeavor of some kind that would bring you this sense of, you know, excitement and adventure, and just, it would spice up your life a bit, right? Because with the 2 of Wands, it's clear that there is something, some sort of project or some sort of goal or wish that you have achieved that is, you know, that is not exciting anymore, and that there is something in you that is urging you to go out there and find something new, find some other challenge to tackle, something, if it would focus again, something new to conquer, basically, right? So this is a card of like planning and looking ahead and seeing at the potential opportunities. But it's also a card of decisions, right? Whether to go ahead and try something new, or whether to stay and stick with what you know. And so it's interesting that on the other side of that, we have this 8 of Swords in reverse. And this 8 of Swords reversed is kind of like an energy of, again, it's like your circumstances are not actually keeping you stuck. They are not actually holding you back, but you still perceive them to be, right? It's like you are not able to, it's like you're not able to see a way out of your situation, or change your mindset about something, or change your way of thinking, even though it's very much there and it's very much available for you. So, and also because we had this Ace of Cups in reverse right next to the 8 of Swords reversed, this is this emotional like dissatisfaction or emotional depletion, just feeling like something important is missing from your life, like you are not, you know, you don't feel fulfilled, you don't feel nourished, which again, obviously this is the whole theme of the reading. But this Ace of Cups is just speaking of like this, you know, this almost like this bottomless pit, which, you know, even if you try to fill it with like material possessions or money or status or a good job and a fancy career title and all of those things, it's never going to be enough to actually bring you fulfillment. And that's why, I mean, I don't want this to come across as like lecturing you or anything like that, because that's not the intention of this reading at all. But I do feel like it's what, like, your spirit guides are trying to pull your attention to here is the importance of, like, not neglecting this emotional aspect, because I feel like this and I don't know, I don't even want to say, like, I don't want to say that it's a warning, because it sounds so ominous, and I don't feel like it is a warning. It's just something to, like, again, something to make you aware of where the situation is headed, right? And I feel like the story here is that if you are just going to, like, you know, keep doing things the way that you are doing and operating from this old perspective or this old mindset and just worrying about all the things that outside of you feel like give you value or give you worth, then I feel like at one point you are just going to realize that, you know, it's clear to me that because you are so hardworking, you are obviously achieving things, and you're obviously, you know, very capable of getting all of these things that you are working towards, and handling all of these burdens and what have you. But I feel like there is going to be a point where that sort of becomes old and stale and not interesting anymore. And so you feel this urge to, you know, tackle a new challenge or do something else and ascend even higher in your career or whatever it is, right? It seems like you are going to become eager to take on something new in the hopes that it will bring you this sense of fulfillment that you are actually really yearning for. That there is this, you know, emotional void that isn't being filled, and so you feel driven to, like, fill it with something, with a new adventure of some kind. But I feel like it's not actually going to bring you the sense of fulfillment that you need, because the fulfillment that you are searching for is emotional in nature. And so you know, material things or projects and like that those sorts of pursuits are not going to fill that void. So yeah, it just seems like your spirit guides are wanting you to turn your focus on whatever this emotional blockage is, or whatever this thing is that is very much influencing your way of seeing things, your way of doing things, what you believe about yourself and what you believe about relationships or your life and all those things, and really you know, dig deep into what it is that you are truly missing, what it is that that your soul is really, you know, yearning for, making time for those emotional or spiritual sources of nourishment. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here, and I'm going to close this reading out with an oracle card. So let's see if we can get some final sort of piece of advice or just a message from your spirit guides to close this reading out. Something to help you, something supportive. Can we get a supportive message or piece of advice for pile number 1 regarding their reading? Oop. Okay. We have number 37. Again, cyclical energy here. Oh, I'm going to read it and then I'm going to show you. So again, reducing down to 10, which further down, you know, further reduces down to 1. So it's clear that some old cycle needs to end and a new one wants to begin. We have that which is true will always be enough. And the message is truth, honor, empress, and integrity. So, you know, even though it says empress, it's not, you know, it doesn't indicate that you need to be female in order to have this empress energy. This is just that sort of empress energy that, you know, knows its value, that cherishes itself, that, you know, has a lot of emotional capacity and compassion for themselves and others. So, yeah, and I also love, you know, the moon is here again. obviously very significant. And I love the message, that which is true will always be enough. So this is almost like, you know, again, pulling your attention to what is truly meaningful, you know, integrity, just you being you, and learning to see the beauty in that, and learning to see the worth in that, you know, without all of the material accessories, which, you know, obviously they can act as a bonus, but they don't define you, and they never give you as an individual, as a soul, worth, right? They don't define your worth. So let's see if we can get one more. Can we get one more card, please, for pile number 1? Thank you. Okay. And we also have number 23, which reduces down to 5. So clearly change wants to happen here. Give to the mind and it gives back. The mind, inspiration, mood, cycle. Yeah. Again, the cyclical energy coming through super, super strong for you guys. Something is desperate to be renewed here. And again, I love that we get the message of the mind, because clearly, as I said, this seems to be an issue of your mindset, or the way that you perceive things, what you believe to be true. And that's, you know, that's where all the power comes from as well. Finally, at the bottom of the deck, we have number 19. Again, reduces down to 10 or 1. It's a process, growing pains, healing, patience, unconscious. Yeah, so obviously this is a message indicating that, you know, no one is saying that this is going to be an easy thing to break patterns, to confront the way that you see things, obviously, but in the end it's worth it, and it just requires patience and dedication, which obviously with the Knight of Pentacles I feel like you are very much capable of dedication. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna leave it here, otherwise I'm gonna start, you know, repeating myself, which I tend to do, and I know that it's super annoying. Trust me, I get it. But yeah, that's it, pile number 1. This message I feel like was so impactful and very, very profound, or very powerful. I don't know, at least to me it feels very, you know, very big, very powerful. So hopefully it translated to you as well, and hopefully, you know, it gave you the message, or it gave you the direction that you need in order to, you know, become more aligned with what your soul is truly wanting, what your spirit guides are trying to direct you towards. But anyway, if this reading spoke to you, if you found something useful from this, then please let me know. You can give me a thumbs up, or you can leave me a comment down in the comment section. And also don't forget to subscribe. That would mean so much to me as well, to grow this little channel and to keep me going, to keep new videos coming. So yeah, thank you so much for watching pile 1. I am wishing you all the best, and if I don't see you in any of the other piles, then I hope to see you guys very soon in one of my next readings. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. Now, the card and the crystal that you chose are the selenite and this purification card with the sunflower. So I'm going to leave this section here, this card and crystal here, and we are going to turn our focus on these oracle cards instead, which are going to give us a glimpse, or an understanding, hopefully, of this main theme that your spirit guides want to address, or that they want to highlight for you right now, that is the most important for your journey for one reason or another. And this section is also you know, supposed to give you this sense of clarity or helping you decide whether this reading is for you or whether this isn't really talking about you. So yeah, let's see what comes through. The first card out is number 14, Truth Be Told, reducing down to 5, 1 plus 4. We also have Don't Let Your Past Hold You Back, South Node. We have number 42, reducing down to 6 with Perception. We have number 12, reducing down to 3 with Pisces, Sensitize. And finally, we have number 13, reducing down to 4 with Fork in the Road. So let's dive into these cards in a second. I just want to feel my way through this energy first and see what this theme is that is sort of coming through or cropping up for me. The energy that I'm feeling here is one of huge compassion, a very highly developed sense of empathy, compassion, feelings, intuition. This Pisces card for some reason is like it's taking over the whole reading. Its energy is so massive or all-encompassing, which usually I get the main energy from the central card. But with you, pile number 2, I'm feeling this Pisces energy the strongest. And so I feel like with all of the characteristics that I was describing and all of this very soft and sensitive energy that I was picking up on, which I feel like, by the way, is talking about you. I feel like you are the one who has these abilities or who feels things very deeply and who feels other people's feelings very deeply as well, possibly. It's kind of giving me this sense of you feeling conflicted or feeling somewhat at a crossroads, right? With this fork in the road. This is very literally a card of looking at different paths and not being able to decide which way to go. And I feel like the main thing here is that the way that you see things, the way that you feel things is very much impacting how you are able to express yourself, right? Because we have this Truth Be Told card here. And for some reason, even though like the owl and the window and the hearts and everything, like that is the sort of the main aspect of this card, my eye is drawn to this mask over here. And I also want to point out that, you know, the card that you chose was this Purification. So I feel like there is something that is very much keeping you from, you know, being fully honest or expressing yourself and expressing how you truly feel, what you truly think about something or how you see something. And I kind of get this energy that the reason why you feel held back is because of like both of these cards together, like the energy coming off these two cards with the South Node and this Purification card. it sort of feels like some sort of past experiences that you have gone through, with, relating to other people, or just even, growing into yourself as a person, and really finding your voice and finding your truth and seeing where you belong or how you fit into the world. All of these things I feel like have shaped you to become very much reserved and very careful of how you express yourself and what you say out loud and what you keep to yourself. I feel like you have been burned in the past by being honest, by being sort of straightforward or expressing your truth, and especially because of this, actually both of these cards together here, because of this Pisces and this perception card, I feel like the way that you see things or the way that you perceive things is just very much different from how other people around you see things, or how you were taught to see things, what the sort of norm is around you, whether that is in your family dynamic, whether that is in your the friend group, or the people that you grew up around in your sort of school setting, or just generally in your like upbringing, or whether this is I feel like it's still very much around you right now too, even if you are now living away or completely separate from the people that you grew up with, or your family members. I feel like even if you are physically distant from them, those sort of painful experiences are still very much sort of at the back of your head, or that they're still very much present in your awareness, and they are still very much shaping the way that you express yourself, right? And hence this card of purification, which I feel like is something that you very much like want to do, or that it almost like it needs to happen. There needs to be this this releasing of these fears or releasing of these past experiences, which are keeping you, okay, this may sound a bit dramatic, and it might not be as dramatic as that, but like hiding behind this mask, right? This golden mask that, is pleasant to look at for everyone else, but obviously it's still a mask, right? It's like, it's hiding the truth behind what is actually happening. And so I hope that, like, because I don't want this message to come across as like, shaming or judging or anything like that. Because honestly, from the energy of these cards, I feel like it has almost been like crucial for your survival, or crucial for your well-being, to adopt this mask and to keep this mask on. So this is very much for like self-preservation and self-protection. And, as I said, I feel like you have been burned in the past because of, expressing yourself truthfully. So there are things that you are sort of carrying with you and still keeping to yourself, and that you don't want to voice, that you don't want to let out. But I feel like it's sort of like detrimental to you almost now. This mask that used to protect you and that has played a very, very important role in your life, I feel like now it's holding you back more than anything. And I feel like this fork in the road, or this crossroads that you feel that you are at, is because of like because of this new awareness that I feel like is sort of coming in, or that has already come in. Again, with this perception card as well, I feel like there is a sort of new reality that you are seeing or experiencing, or there is like evidence to the or contrary evidence to what you have experienced previously, which is sort of trying to indicate to you or trying to show you that it's safe to be who you are now, that you have, you know, grown and you have developed, and again, you may have even, you know, distanced yourself from these people who used to treat you, you know, not in the nicest way. And all of those things, I feel like there is so much space between where you are now and where you were then, when you were amidst all of that energy that was keeping you, you know, safely hidden behind that mask. But now things are changing, and so I feel like this crossroads is happening because there is this old way of functioning in your awareness that knows, you know, that has these painful memories of like what happened when you did express yourself freely and how you got burned, versus now, like, you know, possibly being surrounded by new people or new circumstances, which are maybe encouraging you to be more true to yourself, but like, you know, you don't quite know whether it's safe to do that. So there is this hesitation that I feel that is present here, and that's why this purification card was like so prevalent or so important in this reading, because in order for you to like shine in your fullest, most authentic form, those old painful memories, you know, they need to be, their power needs to be stripped away, right? And it doesn't mean that you have to like completely forget about them, which I don't even think is possible anyway, but they just don't have to control your life anymore. They don't have to have as much power of the way that you operate right now in this new reality, this, you know, this grown and developed person that you are now, has so many better tools to deal with whatever sort of, you know, unpleasant situations or people not understanding you, people misinterpreting you or labeling you or trying to fit you in some sort of category because they are uncomfortable with how you are or how you see things, right? I feel like you are so much better equipped to deal with all of those things now. And so, yeah, even though with this Pisces energy, as I said, this seems to be like a very prevalent energy in your reading, even though all of these traits are still very much within you, they are part of your, you know, characteristics or part of your persona. But I feel like now you are, or you have the capabilities to use those traits to your advantage and to use those as a superpower, right? To navigate through all sorts of different situations and complex people and dynamics and all of these things, rather than, you know, being a weakness of yours. Hopefully that made sense. So yeah, I just feel like this theme of like, it's safe to be you and it's safe to be seen the way that you are, with all of your quirks and all of your unique character traits. That seems to be the most important subject here that your spirit guides clearly want to talk about. But let's look at some tarot cards as well, because I want to get some more information here. When, you know, let's see what else we can find out regarding this highlighted theme. So if this part resonated for you, then make sure to keep on watching, because it's most likely your reading. But the way that this next section is going to go is we're going to look at 3 different sections with tarot cards. We're going to look at the biggest challenge that needs to be overcome regarding this situation. We're then going to look at your surrounding energies, and, you know, that will give us a glimpse whether your surrounding energies are actually helpful to you or whether they are hindering you at this time. And then we're going to see where the situation is headed just the way that it is. So let's start with these challenges first. What is the biggest challenge that needs to be overcome? Thank you. Okay, yeah, we have death as the first card out. Can we get a couple of more cards? Can we get some more cards, please, for the biggest challenge that needs to be overcome? Aha, yes, okay. 5 of Swords, and we also had the Devil reversed at the bottom here. Can I get one more card, please? One more card for... Okay, I guess you're getting 2. So we have the Emperor, and I feel like this wants to... Yeah. We have the Emperor and the 2 of Wands with Justice at the bottom of the deck. Many Major Arcana cards indicating huge spiritual lessons and growth. So there we go. Okay. I'm going to show you all the cards more closely as well as I talk about them and explain the messages that I'm feeling and all of that. So let's look at your surrounding energies. Can you please show us the surrounding energies? 7 of Wands reversed. Can we get a couple more cards, please, for pile number 2, surrounding energies? What are the surrounding energies like for pile number 2? Thank you. We have the 9 of Cups and another 7. 7 of Coins reversed. Okay. Yeah, and the underlying energy is the 9 of Swords, which, to be honest, not that surprised by, considering everything that we have been talking about so far. And finally, let's look at the outcome, where the situation is headed. Where is the situation headed as it is right now? Okay. We have the Moon. More Major Arcana. Can we get a couple more cards, please, for the outcome of this situation? Okay, we have the Ace of Cups reversed. Can we get one final card for where the situation is headed? Okay, thank you. And the Page of Swords. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Wands reversed. Okay, so let's dive straight into these cards. Now, the first section that we are going to be talking about is the section about the biggest challenge that, that needs to be overcome regarding this highlighted situation. Now, we got the Death card as the first card out, which, oftentimes scares people a lot, even though it's not actually that scary as people perceive it to be. It's actually a really beneficial card, but we will talk about it in a second. We also have this 5 of Swords. We have the Emperor. And we have the 2 of Wands as well. Now, because we have these Major Arcana cards, obviously they bring a lot of, significance, and because they have very clear zodiacal associations as well, I feel the need to point them out just in case they mean something to you, right? If they don't, that's fine too. But you may have those placements in your own birth chart, or you may, find them to be significant in some way. Or these may be energies that you recognize from either, your family or your friends or your siblings, whatever. So the Death card is a card of Scorpio, which is another water sign. We had Pisces here as well, which came out the strongest, which I felt was very closely talking about your energy, or it seems to be your energy. And it doesn't mean that you have to be, Pisces by your sun sign, or by your moon sign, or by your rising sign, or anything like that. It could just indicate that you have, Pisces placements in your birth chart, or you could just have those types of traits, even if that astrological sign means nothing to you. We also have the Emperor card, which is a card of Aries. And what I find really interesting though, if this would focus, what I find really interesting here is that both the Death card and the Emperor card, right, which as I said are talking of Scorpio and Aries, both of those signs are ruled by the planet Mars. Mars, which is the planet of, you know, aggression and conflict and war and energy and action and, you know, just taking initiative. And so clearly with the Five of Swords coming out as the center card between these two major arcana cards, it's clear that conflict is the biggest energy here. And I feel like there is an apprehension, or there is a fear of conflict that is very much present within you. That is, it's almost like this, I feel like it's a byproduct of the things that you have experienced, right? And that may be the form in which you actually got burned in the past when you expressed yourself, right? The things that you said or the things that you did, however you expressed yourself, they may have brought out an undesirable or unintended response or reaction in other people, and it may have, you know, triggered others into, you know, picking a fight with you or bullying you for that, or belittling you or something like that. And so I feel like there is this fear tied to it now, that if you open up, if you share or express yourself truly, then other people will be there to bring you down, or to I don't know, laugh at you, or, you know, the other people just won't get you, right? That it will bring some sort of conflict, or it will bring some sort of unwanted situation that needs to be resolved, or where you have to stand up for yourself. But I feel like clearly this standing up for yourself part is the thing that you may have struggled with in the past. And so it could be that at this time you still believe like you're not really able to do that. So it's just easier to avoid confrontation, you know, at all. And it's safer to just keep the peace, so to say, keep the peace, right? Or keep other people happy. But with the Death card being here, right next to this Five of Swords, it's a very straightforward message of like needing to bury that, you know, that experience in the past, and this sense of like defeat, or being, you know, bullied or teared down, and sort of giving your power away in that sense. Like that is something that needs to be transformed, because the Death card is all about transformation, and it's all about, you know, ending things that are long overdue, that there is change that needs to happen. That's what the Death card is ultimately. It's change, it's rebirth, it's renewal, right? We can see the sun rising between these two pillars at the back here. So a new dawn is coming, but for that, you know, to happen, the old needs to be cleared away, right? Again, remember, the main energy of the reading is purification. That's the card that is symbolizing this reading. And so obviously something old needs to be cleared out in order for something new to, you know, be able to come in. And also with the Emperor card here, like I see this Emperor card in a couple of ways. I see this as like you struggling to stand up for yourself, because the Emperor is a very, very powerful and secure and like dominant, assertive energy, right? It's a very, very masculine, heavy energy. So it could, in one way, it could be talking about the sort of difficulty or fear that you have regarding standing up for yourself. But I also feel like this could talk about the energies that don't understand you, right? Like because these two cards came out together like this, it could very much indicate, you know, people who are very set in in their ways and the way that they see the world, the way that they believe things to be right, because the Emperor is very much a card of like doing things the way that they are supposed to be done, and following orders and following laws, and being very like structured and very organized and very by the book. That's what the Emperor energy is, like holding on to laws and the way things have always been done. So it's that sort of controlling energy that when it comes out with the Five of Swords, this is someone trying to push their views on you, or trying to control the way that you see things, and trying to, tear you down if you don't see the way, or don't see things the way they see things. So this is a very like a very much of a bully energy. And so with this Death card, yeah, that's the biggest challenge, is pretty much just transforming that energy, transforming that fear, that painful memory, and looking at new ways to do things, not using that lens when you are faced with new experiences, new situations, new people, right? Because as I said, I feel like that's very much the case at this time. Seeing even new situations and new people and all of that through the lens of the past and how things have always been, or what you have experienced previously. So turning on or turning over a new leaf, and sort of rewriting or rewiring your brain to not be afraid of that, to, as I said with the Emperor, to stand up for yourself. Like, that is something that, again, clearly is not easy, but that definitely, I feel like your spiritual team or your spirit guides are trying to emphasize that is definitely something that requires your attention. Now, looking at your surrounding energies, that's why I was also saying that like this old lens is very much obscuring your view, because we have the Seven of Wands here, which came out in reverse. We have the Nine of Coins, the Nine of Cups. I don't know why I keep like messing up coins and cups today, but that's happening. And then finally we have the Seven of Coins in reverse. So the energy being sort of communicated here is one of very much like acceptance and value. I mean, with both of those sevens coming out reversed next to this Nine of Cups, which is very much a card of like, feeling fulfilled, feeling nurtured, feeling valued. This is a card of like just being, feeling good about yourself and being proud of who you are, and other people sort of validating that as well. That's why there are all of these like cups here, because all of these cups are representing sort of his sense of value and what he has to show for, who he is and what he's been through. And he has found this sense of fulfillment that that he's like now able to display, or that like it like reeks out of him, or what's the word? Reek is not the right word to use. But it shines out of him. Like, everyone can see the value that he brings, right? Because they are very, very much evident here. Now, with both of those sevens coming out in reverse, sevens numerologically indicate challenge, like some sort of status quo being challenged or harmony being disrupted. Now, because both of them are coming out in reverse, it's clearly indicating that there is no challenge here. That this sense of value, this sense of, beauty and harmony and goodness and everything that is shining through from this card is not being challenged. That the people around you You know, they are not like trying to tear you down, or they are not trying to belittle you in any way. They are not challenging you. They're not asking you to prove your worth to them. And especially like with the Seven of Coins here too, like they don't want anything from you, or they are not expecting you to again, like prove your worth to them by, you know, doing something for them, or by being useful to them in some way. Yeah, this just feels like very, very sincere and very appreciative energy. But again, what I find interesting is, and this, why I'm saying again is because it sort of came across in another reading too. But I find it interesting that again, in the surrounding energies, I feel like this is talking about like, you know, your energy and everything that you portray. But you see how he's looking straight ahead? So it's like he's not even aware of the energies that are around him, right? He's not aware that those things are not happening, that those things are not occurring. So, you know, that he doesn't have to worry about these things. So yeah, it sort of feels like you are not even possibly aware how, you know, how valued or appreciated you are, and how safe it is for you to express yourself the way that you want to express yourself. Again, because I feel like with the fork in the road here, right, we had this card, which is talking about that crossroads energy. I feel like you want to, right? Because again, I feel like there are signs that you are picking up. Sorry, itchy arm. But anyway, there are signs that you are picking up, and obviously because you have this very strong Pisces energy coming through, or this archetypal energy of Pisces coming through, this very like intuitive and sensitive, and being able to feel your way through situations, and sort of that gives you clues about what's going on. So it's like your spidey senses are telling you that, you know, you feel intrigued, or you want to do something differently. But at the same time, there again, this block or this like hesitation comes in from the past. And so moving on to the final cards, we have the Moon, which by the way is a card of Pisces. So heavy Pisces energy, or heavy water sign energy in general. We have the Ace of Cups coming out in reverse. And finally, we have the Page of Swords. So if it would focus, there we go. So these three cards talking about the outcome of the situation, or where the situation is headed. So this to me feels like a very cohesive message. So I'm not even going to like, you know, stop or talk about it for too long. But these three cards together are pretty much just saying that you may not even be aware how you are like operating from a place that is not, how should I say, emotionally available, or like the Page of the Page of Swords is very much a card of like being curious and being wanting to discover what's out there, wanting to express himself, right? Because this is the sword suit, so this is this intellectual and talkative, communicative aspect. But because it's the page, it's still sort of finding its way. It's not very confident yet, and it doesn't really know 100% what it believes, right? It's that sort of investigative or explorative stage that all the pages really actually encompass. But because of the way that this page is depicted, it very often also sort of implies that there is this sense of like having their guard up, or being on guard, just in case like something comes along and they need to, you know, defend themselves, or explain themselves, or, you know, protect themselves, like why they did something the way they did, or why they said something the way they said. So yeah, there is this like, this again, this apprehensive energy, like can I trust what is happening around me, and can I trust what is sort of coming my way? And with this moon card here, again, it's like the moon card is very often a card of like not really seeing things for what they are. There are some like hidden layers or something that is operating on a subconscious level that you are not fully aware of, that is very much affecting the whole situation and the way that things are sort of going or playing out. And so, yeah, again, I know I said I was going to keep it nice and short, but the main point here really that I'm trying to make is that like if this situation just continues the way that it is right now, and if you if you decide not to approach this old like trigger that you have, or this thing that is like making you feel like it's not safe to be who you truly are, then I feel like you may just not be aware how you possibly like either shut down emotional opportunities or people trying to come to you and really open up to you in like sincere and authentic and honest ways, right? With the Ace of Cups here, this is like an emotional fulfillment, but when it comes out in reverse, it's like either not accepted or just sort of, not really being seen as like sincere or honest. But it also feels like this could be talking about you sort of, again, operating from a place of like not truly feeling fulfilled because you are not able to be who you really are, right? You are not able to like live authentically to yourself, and that authenticity, that like truthfulness to who you really are and operating from that space is really what brings us, what turns this ace around, what brings us this sense of emotional fulfillment, and what is this sense of like security and stability within us, that we know who we are, we know what we value, we know what our worth is, and we can always rely on that, we can always turn back to that regardless of what is happening around us. But reversed, there is this sense of like not being in contact with that, or not finding this sense of inner security and inner joy and inner fulfillment that you can rely on. So again, even though I said this was a very easy message, I am kind of seeing it in two ways of either you like turning away actual sincere like offers, that could be for like relationships like friendships, or for like romantic partnerships, or just simply like, connecting with other people and feeling like you belong, that type of thing. But it could also just be like, operating from a place where you can't really be true to yourself. And so you always feel like there is something missing, or like there is nothing is really truly, bringing you joy. Like something is always slightly amiss. So yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm not gonna drag this part on any longer. Let's look at some oracle cards to finally close this reading out. I do hope that this part resonated for you, and I hope that you did, make sense of these messages and that they were useful to you. But let's see what like last pieces of advice or loving guidance your spirit team has for you regarding this situation. Can we get some last pieces of advice or loving guidance for pile number 2 regarding their reading? Can we get some... Oh, okay. Oh, beautiful. That worked out very well. So we got 2 cards, and let's look at the bottom energy or the underlying energy in a second. The first card out is number 13, reducing down to 4, which is a number of stability or security. It's time to leave the old behind. We have rebirth, shedding the chrysalis, taking risks. Wow. Now this is the most perfect card for you, pile number 2, I feel like, regarding this reading. because clearly you do perceive being honest or, you know, expressing yourself freely as a risk, and, you know, understandably so, looking at these past energies here and what you have gone through. But I feel like Spirit is saying that it's safe to shed that cocoon now. It's safe to shed that mask, right? Safe to let that mask go over here. There's no need to hold on to that anymore, and just let yourself, you know, shine through for who you really are. And what is this other card? Okay, we have number 27, which reduces down to 9, which is again numerologically an energy of like sort of reflection and seeing where it is that you are actually headed. Now this is the only card in the deck that actually has a grammatic error, and so for that reason it somewhat bugs me, but you know, we're going to look past that. It says, may sweet and soft things finds you. It should say find you. And the message here is harmony, ease, inner child, softness. And I love that we actually have a sunflower on this card, if you can believe it. So that is that's a very sweet little synchronicity there. So yeah, clearly with your inner child being highlighted here, it is something that, you know, has been rooted into you, or that has stuck with you from, you know, when you were growing up. And finally, we have number 17, reducing down to 8, which is, you know, advancement and motion. We have, are you ready? The portal, adventure, ancestors calling. So yeah, clearly, clearly your spirit guides, your ancestors, whoever you believe to be part of your spiritual team, or whoever you feel connected to, especially with this all of this Piscean energy, it's evident that, you know, you do seem to have a very quite like a massive and palpable spiritual connection. It's clear that your spiritual team is asking you to, you know, step into a new reality in a way. Step out of this old timeline and step into a new timeline. So, yeah. Are you ready is the question, pile number 2. But it seems like Spirit is definitely having your back and sort of encouraging you. Now, obviously, again, this is just a reading, so all of these messages are just to inform you and just to give you the, you know, give you the full picture of what is going on and where things are headed. But ultimately, you get to decide what you do, and whether you know, want to change something, whether you want to do something differently, or, you know, whether you don't. And again, that's absolutely fine. It's up to you. But this has clearly been the most important thing that your spirit guides want to address at this time, and that they want to draw your attention to. So hopefully this reading was everything that it was supposed to be and meant to be, and that it, you know, helped you. I truly, truly wish that it did. Thank you so much if you're still here, and if you've watched this reading all the way through. It means so much to me. If this spoke to you in some way, please let me know in the comment section, or you can, you know, give me a thumbs up as well. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more from me, and if you want to see more of these readings. That would really help my channel out immensely. But yeah, that's it. If I don't see you in any of the other piles, please take care of yourselves, pile 2. I am wishing you all the best, and you've got this, okay? That's all I'm going to say. You've got this. So please take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you very soon in one of my next readings. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. Now, the stone or the crystal that you chose is the lapis lazuli, beautiful bluish stone, one of my favorites actually. And the card that you chose was opportunity. So this is going to be your message, or what your spirit guides are are wanting to discuss with you urgently, or what they want to bring to your awareness at this time, what they want to highlight. And we're going to look at that through these oracle cards here. So these are going to tell us what it is that your spirit guides think is the most important subject or theme to talk about at this time, for whatever reason. And then based on these energies, you can decide for yourself whether this is talking to you and your current circumstances at all, or whether it isn't. So yeah, hopefully it will make it more easy to understand. But let's get started. So the first card out is number 32 with here and now. 32 reduces down to number 5. So there we go. The second card out is bring love into the situation with new moon in Aquarius. Oh, and then we have another card which also says love with number 45 reducing down to 9. Okay. Then we have number 10 with Capricorn and achieve. And finally, we have number 44 reducing down to 8 with thinker. Okay. So let's look at these cards more closely, and then we will talk about what is the major theme that I feel that your spirit guides are trying to make you aware of at this time. So pile number 3. I actually feel a very straightforward message with this. So hopefully, you'll be able to understand very, very easily whether this is talking about you or not. But I get the underlying message here that basically your spirit guides want you to focus more on appreciating where you are right now, what you have right now, what you have already achieved, and basically everything that you are surrounded by. Because with this Capricorn energy and this thinker energy, this is very much saying that you may have a tendency to not really be able to appreciate what it is that you do achieve. You just very quickly sort of turn your focus onto a new project, a new goal, something that like allows you to challenge yourself again and overcome these challenges and prove your worth again, and just sort of, build your worth or build your status and build your wealth and all of these things, or whatever achievement means to you, right? Because I know that not for everyone it's something material or financial, even though for a lot of the people it is. But however you feel that you have achieved something, take it as it resonates. But the bottom line here is that you seem to not really be able to appreciate or enjoy what it is that you have achieved. And you sort of like very quickly just sort of move on to the next thing. And I again, this is not like a judgmental thing at all, right? This is just something that your spirit guides are wanting to, point your focus to. And if that's not you, if you don't recognize yourself in that sort of behavior or pattern, then I honestly don't feel like this reading is for you, because this message is coming through very, very like straightforward and in a very, very like black and white way almost. And also, I mean, what I find interesting is that we got this Capricorn energy and we got this Aquarius energy coming through. And both of these astrological signs are ruled by the planet Saturn. And Saturn is one of those planets that you can even see Saturn here with the rings behind the Capricorn here. Saturn is one of those planets that is like a very, very strict teacher that everyone hates when they are being taught by them. But, you know, when they finish school and when they get into real life and they finally have to like apply everything that they've learned, they are actually thankful to that strict teacher because that teacher provided them with the best knowledge or the most useful knowledge that they can now turn to their advantage. So they're actually really, really grateful for all of the tough lessons that they went through because of, you know, what it provided them in the future and how it helped them overcome all these struggles and obstacles and challenges that life throws our way. So that's Saturn for you. But like, while you are in the influence of Saturn, it's almost never an enjoyable experience. It's almost always something that is just like arduous and difficult and heavy, and yeah, it's almost like this pressure. And that's what I kind of feel for you here too, that you almost feel this like innate sense of pressure to perform or to achieve the next big thing. And I mean, looking at this opportunity card now, it sort of seems to me that like that's how it's playing into this whole reading, is that like you constantly being on the lookout for a new opportunity, which is like, again, it's not a bad thing. I don't want this to come across as like a negative message or something, but I just feel like it's healthy to recognize when that sort of sense of achievement or sense of urgency to go and achieve something new or something next is becoming somewhat like a cycle of chasing, and when you sort of lose the reason why you are chasing those things to begin with, you know, whether the motivation behind this chasing is actually healthy for you, and whether it's actually, you know, the best use of your energy, whether it's something that truly brings you a sense of fulfillment. Because, you know, when you are constantly striving for something and after you achieve it, striving for something else, there may be an indication that whatever it is that you are striving for, it's not actually really, you know, doing it for you. It's not really giving you the sense of satisfaction or fulfillment that you were hoping to get from it. And so that's why you turn on to the next thing. And so ultimately, you know, when this becomes like a pattern, it could stem from a place of like not really addressing the root issue, or where the sense of like lack is coming from, that is pushing you to move on to the next thing and to look for new ways of achievement, because there could actually be an emotional void somewhere that hasn't been fulfilled. And so that's why, you know, you are being pushed on to the next thing, or that's why you feel this urgency. But clearly with this here and now and this love card, right? And even like with this Aquarius, bring love into the situation. Clearly this emotional aspect, you know, of feeling fulfilled and being grateful for the moment that you are in right now, instead of like chasing the tomorrow or planning the next year and the next 5 years and things like that. Which again, like, it's good to do that. It's good to have a plan, and it's good to be dedicated, and it's good to be driven and ambitious and all of those things. These are very, very positive traits. But I just feel like you are being called to like slow down and sort of pace yourself, or just take a breather, just, you know, like actually reflect, right? With this thinker card too, actually reflect on what it is that you are chasing. Is it fully actually giving you the satisfaction that you think it is? And where do you hope to get to at the end of it? Like, there are all of these very, very big questions that I feel like your spirit guides want you to address here. And obviously with this love energy of, you know, love, which is very often tied to gratitude and just fulfillment and happiness, that seems to be the key energy here. Because again, only you know what your true motivation is for going after these achievements, and most likely these are like earthly, material, financial things. Obviously take it as it resonates, but especially with Saturn being here too, Saturn is very much a planet of like Earth, because it is like, it's dry and it's cold, and it's like it's similar to Earth in that sense. There's no like wateriness or no like imaginativeness, or no like these warm and fuzzy and those types of energies there. Saturn is very much like concrete and practical and you know, long term and methodical. That's very much like Saturn energy or Saturnian energy. So it seems to me that the things that you are after are most likely material, or they are somehow tied to your like financial well-being or your financial security down the line, or your career status, or, you know, working yourself up to a very respectable position. Again, all of these things are really, really, you know, admirable, and they're good to pursue. But I almost get this sense of like, how should I say? I kind of get the message that your spiritual team or your spirit guides are saying that you may be like missing your life, or you may be like in that chase. You may overlook things that are actually very, very significant and that make life, you know, worthwhile, that make living worthwhile. And it's not to say that these material needs and all of the security that you are, all of this achievement that you are working towards, that isn't worthy, or, you know, that doesn't improve your life. Of course it does, but I do feel like there is a deeper emotional aspect that your spirit guides want you to address. Like, what sort of emotional or relationship related sacrifices are you making in the pursuit of these things? Are you aware what you are potentially giving up or neglecting in favor of this achievement or this thing that you are after? So yeah, basically that's what I'm feeling here. And if this message spoke to you in some way, or if you recognize something about yourself, then make sure to keep on watching, because we're going to get some more information with these tarot cards next. And the way that this is going to go is we're going to look at 3 separate sections with these tarot cards. We're first going to look at the biggest challenge that needs to be overcome regarding the situation. We're then going to look at surrounding energies that are obviously around you, and, you know, whether they are helping you or whether they are hindering you in some way. And then we're finally going to look at where the situation is headed, or what is the outcome of the situation if nothing changes, like just the way that this energy is right now. If it continues to move on like that, what are you potentially looking at, you know, future wise? So let's see, what are the biggest challenges, or the biggest challenge that needs to be overcome. Okay, we have Justice. Can we get a few more cards? A few more cards, please, for the biggest challenge that pile number 3 needs to overcome regarding this situation. Okay, we have the 8 of Cups reversed. The Wheel of Fortune at the bottom. I'm going to show you all the cards afterwards, don't worry. Can I get one more card, please? Okay, thank you. And the 6 of Cups. Yeah, looking at all of these Cups cards, clearly this is an emotional issue. And we have the 7 of Wands reversed at the bottom of the deck. Okay, now let's look at your surrounding energies. What are the surrounding energies of pile number 3? Surrounding energies of pile number 3. Surrounding energies. Aha. Okay, that's interesting because this strength card just sort of jumped out of the pack and it turned itself upright. Used to be reversed and now it turned itself upright. That's interesting. Okay, can we get a couple more cards? Okay, thank you. Okay. So this card may have something to do with this justice. Okay, the Sun. Now we have strong Leo energy coming through. Interesting. 2 of Swords is at the bottom there. Can we get one more, please? One more for the surrounding energies for pile number 3. Surrounding energies, pile number 3. Thank you. And the King of Wands reversed. Yeah, this is heavy, heavy Leo energy. All of these cards are tied to Leo in one way or another. At the bottom of the deck, we have the King of Pentacles, which I actually feel is you, even though this is a Taurian energy, but I heavily feel like this is you. Okay, and finally, let's see, where is this situation headed? Where is this situation headed? Okay, we have the 5 of Cups with the Ace of Wands reversed. Magician at the bottom. Can I get one more card, please? Thank you. And the 7 of Cups reversed. Yeah, lots of Cups cards coming through. Okay. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 3 of Swords in reverse. Okay. Okay. Okay, pile number 3. This feels like quite a serious reading, so yeah, I hope that you can, you know, stick it out with me. But I mean, if this Saturnian energy is any indication, then, you know, you should be a very, very strong individual. Oh, shoot. Okay. We just lost the Justice card. Oh my God. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna have to get it. Oh, okay. Got the Justice card, which again is somewhat funny that it like escaped because, well, we're going to talk about it in a second, but basically I'm just going to show you all the cards. So the first card out is Justice that you got. Then we have the 8 of Cups reversed. And finally we have the 6 of Cups. So you have 2 Cups cards and 1 card of Libra, a Major Arcana card. And again, like looking at all of these Major Arcana cards out here, it's clear that this is, again, a pretty significant spiritual lesson that your spirit guides are trying to point your attention to. So I'm kind of getting 2 messages here. These 3 cards here are, like in this first section, talking about the biggest challenge that needs to be overcome regarding this situation. 2 scenarios that I'm feeling. The first scenario is that there needs to be like a concrete action or decision that changes the current situation of this 6 and 8 of Cups reversed. Because the 8 of Cups reversed is an indication that there is emotional dissatisfaction that is here. There is something that isn't fulfilling for you, something that isn't nurturing for you, but for some reason you are not wanting to leave. And instead, it's a sort of place that you find comfort in with the 6 of Cups. So this is just something that you have either like done for such a long time, or this is just something that like feels safe to you, that feels familiar and secure to you. So you keep doing it, even though, again, as I said, it's not really fulfilling what it is that you ultimately desire. And so the first message here with this Justice card for, you know, if this is your scenario, is that there needs to be a balance created, or there needs to be a change created, like doing the right thing by yourself, and like actually looking at the sort of consequences that you are facing as you ignore this deeper voice within you, or this deeper sense of like, okay, something is missing. I'm not finding nourishment or satisfaction from these things that I'm achieving. So what needs to change? What do I need to do, or what do I need to address emotionally speaking, so that I could make the necessary changes? That is the biggest like challenge, at least for some of you. Now, for others of you, if this love situation and this here and now situation and all of that we were talking about is regarding a relationship that is in your life, if you have a significant other, if you have a spouse, if you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, or just someone who is very, very, very close to you, and you know you have some sort of like emotional connection to, this could indicate that there needs to be a balance created when it comes to what it is that you are sort of achieving, and also looking after your emotional connections, right? Like not neglecting them and not leaving those out to dry. With the 8 of Cups here again, this is indicating that either for you or for someone else in your vicinity, even though I do feel like mostly this is talking about the unfulfillment that you feel, but this could also, again, this could be mirrored in your partnership, right? This could be mirrored back to you in your relationship, if you have a relationship, that there is some sort of emotional dissatisfaction that is not being acknowledged, that things are sort of just, you know, being kept harmonious, or being kept the way that it is. Or even with the 6 of Cups, this could just be like, you know, I'm not saying that this is what you do, if this relationship scenario resonates for you, but I'm just giving it as an example. You know, it's one of those types of behaviors that, like, if one partner is away constantly, you know, either they're traveling or they're working all the time, and they don't have a lot of spare time for their partner, then when they come back from their travels, they like bring some gifts or some like tokens, something to show that, hey, like, listen, I care about you, I love you, like, let me give you this physical trinket or whatever this physical gift is, to show you how I feel about you, right? So this is almost like this trying to accommodate the emotional needs by giving gifts, or by, you know, alleviating the situation through some sort of gestures. Again, I'm not saying that this is what you do specifically, pile 3, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just giving this as an example of just trying to like manage this dissatisfaction, emotional dissatisfaction, in some other way that may not necessarily address the issue. And like between these 2 cards, because we got the 2 Cups cards right next to each other, between the 6 of Cups and the 8 and the 6, we have a 2 of Cups, which is usually an energy of a connection, a union, a relationship. And so, or, you know, even a contract, because we have Justice here too, which indicates like a legality of some sort. So it could be a marriage that this is talking about. But again, I will let you decide how this resonates for you. But if this is the relationship scenario, then basically the biggest challenge for you is to actually balance out and create a more harmonious and equal, you know, spending of time and spending of energy that you basically put into your relationship and that you also put into your endeavors. So whether this is scenario number 1 or scenario number 2 for you, you be the judge of that. But that's what I'm picking up on here. Now, moving on to the surrounding energies. Again, I am feeling 2 scenarios, but let's go through the cards first. We have the Strength card as card number 1, which is a card of Leo, very clearly indicated here by the lion. We also have the Sun card, very positive card, and it is the card of the Sun. Again, very kind of obvious. And Sun is the ruling planet of Leo, so hence the Leo association yet again. And finally, we got the King of Wands in reverse, which is a card of Leo in the court cards. So, as I said, very heavy Leo energy coming through. And this could indicate a couple of things. It could say that someone around you has very strong Leo placements. They could have a Leo sun sign because the sun is here. So, you know, they could be your spouse, or this could be even your boss or someone, your maybe even your business partner or something like that. It could be like someone around you, or this Leo energy could also, you know, be talking about you if you yourself have significant Leo placements. But if you don't, and if you don't recognize any Leos around you, you know, don't pay too much attention to that. It's not that important. It's just what's coming through. So that's why I felt the need to, you know, say it. But the 2 scenarios that I'm feeling here with your surrounding energies. So one of them, if we take the scenario of this relationship, right, that you are possibly not paying that much attention to your spouse and there is this emotional dissatisfaction there. It could be that this King of Wands is actually like depicting your energy, because remember at the bottom of the deck we had the King of Pentacles, which I very strongly felt was your energy. And very often the King of Pentacles and the King of Wands, especially if we're talking about like achievement and business and material wealth and all of those types of pursuits, they are very closely linked in that energy. And so I feel like in one aspect this could be talking about you sort of having your back turned to this Strength and Sun card energy. So basically, I feel like there is a lot of support and there is a lot of appreciation around you and a lot of freedom that you are given as well to do what it is that you want to do and to follow your passions, to go after your desires, ambitions, the things that sort of light you up and, you know, well, seemingly light you up, right? The things that you feel driven to achieve, everything that we have been talking about. But it seems like you have a lot of freedom to do that. So this could be just the support around you that, you know, people are giving you. Again, this could be your spouse, this could be your friends, this could be your children if you have them. Whoever they are, this feels very, very supportive. This Strength and this Sun card, very supportive. And so that's why I feel like with this King of Wands reversed, not to make you feel bad, please, pile 3, I don't want to make you feel bad in any shape or form. But it just seems like, you know, the way that these cards are placed, that's why I'm getting this feeling that you may be somewhat like ignoring, overlooking this like positive support that is around you. Or even if you are not like overlooking it, it could just be that you are not really appreciating it for what it is, or it's like you are taking it for granted almost. And again, this is not like, this is not spirit like calling you out, but this is just to sort of indicate how it's coming across, possibly, for other people around you. Because you are so focused on the things that you're trying to achieve, right? So it could just be that, you know, some of these things, or even some of these like opportunities for joy with the Sun card here, you know, you could be like, you could be missing them, or it's like you're not really present for these things that are happening. Especially like, okay, that just randomly popped into my head again. If this doesn't resonate for you, it doesn't resonate, and you know, you don't have to do anything with this information. But with the Sun card here, if you have small children, you could be like missing the way that they are growing up, or their development or something like that, just because the focus is elsewhere. And again, like not to call you out or anything, or not to make you feel bad, but that's just a very specific message that came through for someone. But let's say, let's move on from this relationship scenario and move on to the other scenario that I'm feeling with these cards. So if this King of Wands is not talking about you, and let's say that you have a boss or a business partner or someone who is this King of Wands, because this is a very like dominant and bold and assertive, and this is just one of those energies where like their energy is very palpable, but it's almost like making people fear them, or you know, causing dread in some way, because they are just like, their energy is so intense and so powerful and so like overwhelming almost. And so I feel like if this King of Wands is talking about another person in your vicinity or around you, I don't really like this energy's influence, because these two cards are actually positive. But with the King of Wands reversed here, this almost feels like either they are influencing you to go after things that they believe to be valuable. So they are like pushing their own ego on you almost, or their own like beliefs or something on you. Or they could be influencing you, or playing a role in you not really being able to enjoy these energies here, this strength and this Sun card. I don't know, I just feel like this King of Wands, if it is someone around you, I just don't really like their influence too much. And it's not to say that this is a bad or malicious person or something like that. It's just that they may have such like overbearing energy that it almost like unintentionally influences you as well. Or like, this could also be your father, like the father figure that you have or had when you were growing up, or some sort of like authority figure in your life. But it is very masculine, so I'm not really feeling like a maternal energy here, but it just feels like a very, very huge masculine effect. This could even be like an older brother if you have one, but or just an older relative who had a massive influence on you. But I just feel like this is saying that whoever this person is, if you recognize them, if you recognize this like intense and very overbearing and someone like pushing their views on you, that type of thing, it feels like the way that they have almost like programmed you to believe what success is, that's very much like still playing a role here. And it's like with the Sun and Strength card here specifically, and I know that I'm like talking quite for quite a long time about these cards, but I do feel like there is a lot of significance here. Like they are very, very important messages because they are two very significant major arcana cards. I feel like the message that this individual has like driven into you or like programmed into you is one of like needing to, you know, suppress or just like overcome these more like base urges, like, I don't know, like emotion and like feelings and like feeling love and feeling, you know, appreciated and all of these like mushy things, which I feel like is represented by the lion here, like just these base instincts, these base emotions that all of us have and all of us need. But I feel like this person has almost like taught you or programmed you to believe that you need to push those down within you, and go after like very or find happiness and find fulfillment in like very public places, or places where you can like shine and where you can show off your skills and show off your traits, and where people can like look up to you and admire you, right? Like that very ambitious and driven energy that the fire signs all have, but like especially Leo, which is known to be one of the signs, or the archetype of Leo is one of being in the spotlight and being admired and being like this leader of people, and people like looking up to them. And so I feel like this sort of belief, like that's where happiness comes from, and that's where fulfillment comes from. That's what this King of Wands in reverse has like made you believe or programmed into you, and that like you constantly have to show this face of like success, and like everything is always good and everything is always in control, right? With the Strength card too, everything is always in control. Like you cannot allow any weaknesses to show through, or, you know, ask for any support or ask for any tenderness or things like that, or even showing those types of emotions is like a sign of weakness. I don't know, it feels very twisted, what this King of Wands reversed has taught or pressured you into feeling or believing or something like that. So again, if this is like a father figure or some authority figure when you were growing up, possibly even like a teacher, or, you know, I don't know, you have to sort of see how this message applies to you. But if this is an individual outside of you, and they had influence on you, especially when you were growing up or when you were little, then it seems like the things that they taught you to believe are actually not the most beneficial for you. But if this is someone who is still around you, and who, you know, as I said, like a business partner or like a sibling or whatever, who is having an influence on you, and who is still like projecting that sort of belief onto you, or pressuring you to keep that role like occupied or fulfilled, and pushing you to keep performing, I don't know, it just seems like they could very much be actually like hindering you in finding like true fulfillment. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there now. I feel like I have exhausted that part of the reading. So just see how, you know, how this resonates for you, whether you feel the first scenario, whether you feel the second scenario. But moving on to the final cards here, which are talking about where the situation is headed if nothing changes. We have the Five of Cups. We also have the Ace of Wands coming out in reverse. And we have the Seven of Cups also coming out in reverse. So basically, this I feel like is a very straightforward message once again. And it's just saying that, you know, this situation, if it just continues the way that it is, I feel like at one point you won't be able to notice, or you will miss some really great opportunities to actually find some sort of like excitement and fulfillment and things that would really like stir your soul or stir something more deeply within you, because of your focus on like the things that are not actually bringing you fulfillment, right? Like we see these three cups here on this Five of Cups that are spilled, and that this person is so focused on that they don't even see the two cups behind them, right? They are neglecting the things or the opportunities that are right there for them, because their focus is on something that cannot possibly bring them any fulfillment anymore, right? And with the Ace of Wands reversed, this is very often a missed opportunity. And again, remember, we had opportunity as your main card for this reading. So it's almost like a dual message here of like you chasing opportunities, but then also you possibly missing out on some other opportunities that would bring you that sense of like emotional satisfaction that I feel like is lacking at this time. So this is that like sense of not really paying attention or not seeing, or not taking advantage of an opportunity that is around you. And finally, with the Seven of Cups in reverse, this is not really knowing what it is that you want, and not really even like making sense of where your sense of fulfillment could possibly come from, like what it is that truly brings you this sense of nourishment. Not looking at those things, and not reflecting on whether the things that you are currently focusing on, whether those things are actually bringing you fulfillment or whether they are not bringing you fulfillment. So in a way, I feel like if this thing were to just continue, it's like there could possibly be some disappointments, where you feel like you have missed out on some opportunities or some things, or where you just, where you are possibly even unaware of possibilities around you, because there isn't too much space for this like emotional reflection in the first place. At the bottom of the deck, we also had this Three of Swords reversed. And the Three of Swords reversed can indicate, and that's what I feel for you as well here, pile number 3, that there is this like reluctance to look at what is causing you pain or what is causing you discomfort and dissatisfaction. There's like wanting to avoid painful things, right? Wanting to avoid especially painful emotions. As you can see, this heart is pierced. And so there is this like, possibly like compensating, right? Wanting to keep yourself busy and keep yourself achieving and going after all of these material things or physical things, because it allows you to like look past or not deal with whatever this emotional dissatisfaction is that is clearly within you, or possibly even in your relationships as well. Some issues that would need resolving or looking at, but I can see very clearly here that you're not really wanting to do that. You're not really wanting to touch that area, but yeah, I do feel like what your spiritual guides are trying to say here is that you would benefit hugely from it. Just taking this time and slowing down to actually think of what it is that you truly want, right? Instead of just like blindly chasing after things, or even things that other people are telling you that you should want or that you should have. Making sure that what it is that you are after is truly what it is that you want to achieve yourself as well. But that's what I feel for you. As I said, it was quite a serious, quite a heavy reading. Obviously, all of the Saturnian energy, that's what was to be expected. But I hope that this reading, was, didn't bring you down too much. I truly hope so. And if you're still here, thank you so much. But we're going to close the reading out with some final oracle cards. These are going to be advice or loving guidance to you from your spirit guides regarding this reading. So let's see. Some support or guidance for pile number 3 regarding their reading. Okay, we got 1. Okay, we have growing pains, healing, patience, unconscious. It's a process. is what it says on the card here. And the number is 19, reducing down to 10. 1 plus 9 is 10, which is cyclical energy and, you know, is the ending of a journey, and then it reduces down to 1, which is the beginning of a new journey. Okay, and can we get one more card, please? One more card, please, for pile number 3's reading. Thank you. Okay. Oh, I love this message for you, pile 3. It says, don't worry, darling, you'll find your way. The red rose, overcoming obstacles, finding joy, carefree. Look at that. Look at that. It actually makes me think of the sun card here, which is in your surrounding energies, right? Because it is the most positive card in tarot. And so clearly there is a lot of source of fulfillment that is available for you. And again, as I said, a lot of support, a lot of joy. But there just needs to be some time made for it, right? So it is there for you, pile 3. It is there. You just have to, you know, grab it. Take hold of it and grab it, right? It's an opportunity. It is an opportunity, and you can make use of that opportunity if you so choose. But again, as I always say, these readings are just for your information, and ultimately what you choose to do with these messages is up to you. If you want to heed them, if you want to, you know, take this advice on board and act upon them, that's your choice. If you don't want to do that, that is also your choice. It's fully, you know, it's your prerogative, fully your free will that comes into play here. So I am just the messenger and just giving you, you know, what the universal energies available for you are. But ultimately, it's up to you. And also at the bottom of the deck, we have number 36, reducing down to 9, another 9. Nines are like almost reaching the end of a journey. And so that is that like reflection point. Could you surrender just a bit more? The Seeker, all-seeing eye, spirit, release. So there you go. Clearly a spiritual or emotional aspect coming through and being highlighted here. And also I love that we have this third eye here that is very much open and very much looking outward and, you know, seeing the truth. We also have this third eye here, actually. We also have this third eye here. So obviously some spiritual insight is, you know, is needed, something to like kind of tune into and again, sort of gain information from, just to see what it is that you truly feel that is actually lacking or missing from your life, right? And what you can do to like remedy it. All of that information seems to be available for you. I love that these oracle cards are like so supportive, especially this one. I don't think I talked about this for you know, a very long time, and there's not that much to actually explain about it. It's pretty like self-explanatory. You know, saying that this is a process to like reprogram yourself and start seeing and doing things in a new way, changing patterns and breaking cycles and habits and that type of thing. But it is possible to heal that sort of, that sense of programming, or that way of seeing things that is hindering you in some way. It just takes some patience and it just takes some dedication. But at the end of it, obviously, clearly, at the end of it, here you can see as well, but behind the mountains, there is a beautiful sunrise. At the end of it, there is clearly fulfillment and joy to be found. So, wow, okay, I'm going to leave it here, pile number 3, because this has been a reading, let me tell you. But I hope that this message still came across as like encouraging and hopeful, and I hope that you got something useful from this. But if that's the case, I would love to know as well. So you can let me know down in the comment section, or you can just give me a thumbs up, however you prefer. And please don't forget to subscribe. That would mean so much to me, and that would help my little channel out so much. It would help me to keep making these videos for you and being here with new messages. So please don't forget to do that. But yeah, I'm going to leave it here. If you want to watch any of the other piles as well, go for it. But other than that, I hope to see you in one of my next readings. And please take care of yourselves, pile 3. Bye-bye.